This is 3 News Now, your daily update on everything Northeast Ohio with Stephanie Haney.
Hello everyone, welcome back to 3 News Now on this Friday, July 8th. I'm Stephanie Haney here with your top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. Thank you for being here for the stories that matter most to you here in Northeast Ohio. These are the stories that you are clicking on, reading, and sharing from our website and from our app. And we start with an advisory that has been issued by the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. This is a regional endangered child advisory, and the child at issue is 16-year-old Mackenzie Carson. She was last seen at Mosquito Lake Park and went missing early Thursday morning. She was last seen at around 1 a.m. at the park in Cortland. So right now she is believed to be with her boyfriend D'Angelo Bartelli, who is also missing. Her last known location was somewhere in Akron. She is believed to be in danger at this time. Here's what we know about her description from authorities. She's described as being 5 foot 1 inch tall, weighing about 135 pounds, with white skin, brown hair, and hazel eyes. She was wearing a gray hoodie with the word Pirates written on it in orange letters. Also underneath that gray hoodie, she had on a red long-sleeved crop top shirt with ruffles on the sleeves, with jean shorts and white fuzzy Crocs. Anyone with information is asked to either call 911 immediately or ODNR, and that number is 614-799-9538. Again, that's 614-799-9538 if you have any information about the whereabouts of Mackenzie Carson, who went missing early on Thursday morning and is believed to be in danger. Now we have an update on the situation in Akron. We've gotten a timeline of some overnight events related to protests after the police shooting and killing of Jayland Walker. Police have cited disturbances and public safety concerns. They said these protests were in response to that deadly shooting. The Akron Police Department has said that they fully support residents' right to peacefully assemble, but acts of violence and property damage will not be permitted. One instance that was described happened at around 10:50 p.m. Police say a 25-year-old man was stopped for a traffic violation. This happened on West Exchange Street. So according to police saw this person driving through various city streets and illegally blocking intersections in order to allow other cars to speed and move through city streets. It's estimated there were over 50 cars that were being enabled to do this by this person blocking the streets, some of them driving in a reckless manner. So upon stopping the driver, police said that he was in possession of an illegal loaded handgun, and that person was arrested without incident. Now, we don't know the name of that driver, but they were taken to the jail on charges of having weapons under a disability, obstructing official business, disorderly conduct, and rioting. Police also say there was an unrelated felony vandalism charge in connection with a prior protest-related incident. And these protests have been going on for several days. This is after the Akron Police Department on Sunday released body camera footage of 8 officers shooting Jayland Walker dozens of times following a chase last week. And the city of Akron is currently under a curfew again. There was one night where there was no curfew. That was Wednesday night, but that curfew was reinstated Thursday night. It started at 10 p.m. It remains in effect until 6 a.m., and that order will stay in place until the mayor of Akron lifts it. And because these things are happening, there have been several weekend events that were moved from Lock 3 to the Goodyear Theater. You can check WKYC.com for the details on those weekend events that have been relocated because of the situation in the city of Akron. Now, in a recent press conference, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine had no comment on the possibility that a 10-year-old from Ohio had to go to Indiana to receive an abortion following allegations of abuse. There's been no comment on that. What we have learned is that in Indianapolis, OBGYN told the Indianapolis Star that a Ohio child abuse doctor had reached out to her. The doctor in Indiana, that doctor's name is Caitlin Bernard, and said that the doctor had called saying that the child was 6 weeks and 3 days pregnant and needed help. And that was 3 days after the 6-week limit that Governor DeWine had signed into law previously went into effect here in Ohio. It's the so-called heartbeat law. And the way this law works is here in Ohio now, under the current situation, an abortion is not permitted once cardiac activity can be detected in a fetus. Some people refer to that as a heartbeat. There is disagreement among doctors of how to properly refer to that particular phenomena, and that can happen as early as 6 weeks, and in this case it was 6 weeks and 3 days when that happened, and that child then reportedly had to go to Indiana. So Governor DeWine said that it was gut-wrenching as a father and a grandfather to think about a 10-year-old being raped, and that he had hoped the doctors caring for her reported the assault to law enforcement, but he did not address the fact that it was a law that he signed that put girls like her in such a situation. So on Thursday, Governor DeWine's press secretary, Dan Tierney, was asked whether the governor thinks juvenile rape victims who become pregnant should be able to get abortions, or whether he believes they should be forced to carry their pregnancies to term. And he did not answer the question directly. This is a quote from Tierney. He said, "You have access to Governor DeWine's recent comments on these issues, including that the only information available on the Indiana matter was from Indiana media reports," and went on to say, "I do not have further comment for you." So on this issue today, President Joe Biden signed an executive order that is intended to protect some abortion access. This is as the president is facing a lot of pressure from Democrats in Congress to be more forceful on the subject after the Supreme Court ended the constitutional right to the procedure and then gave that consideration to the state level. So this executive order that he signed, here's what it does. It formalizes instructions to the Departments of Justice and Health and Human Services to push back on efforts to limit the ability of women to access federally approved abortion medication or to travel across state lines to access clinical abortion services. It also directs agencies to work to educate medical providers and insurers about how and when they are required to share privileged patient information with authorities. This is an effort to protect women who seek to utilize abortion services or who actually utilize abortion services. Now, the president has acknowledged that his office is very clearly limited in its ability to safeguard access to abortion nationwide. He said it would require an act of Congress to restore access to abortion in the more than a dozen states where strict limits or total bans have already gone into effect in the wake of that Supreme Court ruling. About a dozen more states are set to impose additional restrictions in the coming weeks and months. That does include Ohio. Ohio is counted among those states. And as it now stands, Ohio does have one of the most restrictive abortion bans in the country. Here's what President Biden said. The fastest way to restore Roe, speaking about Roe versus Wade, which was overturned by the Supreme Court decision in Dobbs versus Jackson's Women's Health Organization, is to pass a national law. He went on to say, though, that the Congress doesn't have the votes to do it today. So here's another quote from Biden. The challenge is to go out and vote. And then in the next part of his statement, he uses the term pro-choice, but pro-abortion rights is the most up-to-date term. Here is the quote from the president, though. We need 2 additional pro-choice senators and a pro-choice House to codify Roe. Your vote can make that a reality. Now, back here in the Northeast Ohio area, former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice had a sit-down interview, an exclusive interview with our very own Russ Mitchell, talking about a wide range of things. One of the things she talked about was her opinion on Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson and the disciplinary hearing that he's currently facing for sexual assault misconduct allegations from multiple women. She is a lifelong Browns fan, so when they talked at Firestone Country Club in Akron, she shared her opinion on this. Condoleezza Rice is in town serving as the ambassador for the 2022 Bridgestone Senior Players Championship. Here's what she had to say. We all need to keep an open mind and let Judge Robinson do her work. Judge Robinson is the presiding officer over the disciplinary hearing. Remember, the hearing has already taken place. Additional briefs from both sides are due by July 11th. That's this coming Monday, and then the presiding officer will issue her ruling. Condoleezza Rice went on to say, it was collectively bargained as a process that would be used. It's a serious matter. I'm going to keep an open mind and see where this comes out. I hope it will be resolved soon. I have a lot of confidence in the arbitrator, referring to Sue Robinson, who is a former federal judge. During their interview, Russ and Condoleezza Rice spoke about the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, rising gas prices, the January 6th committee, of which we've seen multiple hearings, and there are more hearings still to come and more. And you can watch that full interview. That's up on WKYC.com. Sticking with football, a lot of people are wondering, why did Baker Mayfield take a pay cut to go to the Carolina Panthers? You know, that trade came out this week, Baker Mayfield going to the Carolina Panthers. The Browns are getting a conditional 5th round pick. We do know that if Baker ends up taking 70% of the snaps for the Panthers, that moves up to a 4th round pick. I believe that's in the 2024 draft. But right now, The way the money works out is the Browns will be on the hook for $10.5 million of the previous $18.9 million salary that they would have had to pay Baker Mayfield this year. The Panthers will pay $5.5 million, and Baker is taking a $3.5 million pay cut. But he does have the opportunity to earn that money back via incentive. So if he performs well for the Panthers, he could get his full paycheck this year. But why would he do that? Why would he take that chance? Well, NFL insider Aditi Kinkhabwala, who, by the way, will be on the sidelines for the preseason for the Browns this year, said it was a matter of Mayfield having a path to play football again. She said this while talking on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Here's what she said. I think that he ultimately realized that by holding out for the full amount of money from the Browns, he was cutting off his nose to spite his face. Ultimately, his best bet was to get back on the field, affirm that he is the guy that we saw 2 years ago, affirm that he is indeed a good teammate, and affirm that he can indeed lead a team and bet on himself. Now, at this point, there's no guarantee that Mayfield will start for the Panthers. But by the way, the Browns and the Panthers are matched up in week 1 of the season on the road in Charlotte. I will actually be in Charlotte at that game. That will be interesting no matter what. But it was clearly his best chance to receive some playing time. So that alone apparently was worth $3.5 million to Mayfield, who is at a crossroads in his NFL career, and we will see how that plays out. It will be very interesting to see who lines up on the field on September 11th when this game happens in Charlotte. One more thing to let you know before we go here. Here's a reminder that the Tall Ships Festival is back in town after being away for several years. Last time they were here was 2019, so 2 years off, now back. So that's a 3-year gap. And they're here till Sunday, July 10th. There's lots of stuff going on downtown. This is right on the other side of the football stadium, actually, right along the coast there on the North Coast Harbor. That's where the ships will be lining up. There are 7 official confirmed tall ships. These are restored and replica ships. They come from the U.S., Canada, and Spain. There's other ships that you can get on. You can actually get on these ships. They'll be crafting for the kids. There's a happy hour situation. There's twilight experiences there, so sort of the after hours experiences. And on Saturday, there will be fireworks downtown. So lots of good stuff. It is a ticketed event. You can go to WKYC.com for the links to that. And if you do buy those tickets in advance online, you get a little bit of a discount. All right, that's it for your 3 News Now update today for Friday, July 8th. Everyone have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you back here on Monday with more 3 News Now.
Thanks for listening to 3 News Now with Stephanie Haney from WKYC Studios. Subscribe now so you never miss an update, and find more on everything you heard here on WKYC.com and in the WKYC app.